Hi designers, here is your assignment for today. We are going to be working on your first day of your material science presentation. So today is going to be based on finding what material that you want to present on and starting your research. So if you go to the assignment, reading through the project directions. So the final project for our material science unit is a presentation on a chosen material. You will have 3 class periods to create your presentation. Today is going to be day 1 of the 3 days, so make sure you're using your time wisely. Your assignment is to research one specific material and create a professional presentation to share with the class that meets all the requirements, including the 2 to 3 minutes in length. Your presentation can be either a Google slide or a poster format. So I want to go back here and just kind of highlight this. It has to be one specific material. So for example, if you're presenting, I don't want you to say it's on plastic. That's going to be a category. Or if you say wood, again, that's a category. It has to be a specific material. So for plastics or polymers, you could do something like PVC or polyvinyl chloride. For wood, you could do a presentation on oak or spruce or pine, but it has to be specific. So selecting your materials. So I have, you can select one material from any of these sites below. If you want to present on something different, um, get my permission. Now I'm going to say for you guys, since I'm not here today, choose something from one of the lists that we have available, just because I don't want you just waiting today and not getting work done. So choose one of these materials down here. When you have your selected material, I'm going to ask that you comment on the Google Classroom post, so this assignment. So comment what material you are presenting on so that we don't have duplicates. We don't want to have like 10 people presenting on copper, for example. So all of these sites here have a bunch of lists and some information about those different categories. So in polymers, you've got plastics. Wood, again, is also a polymer, so it's under that category. You've got glass, metal, metal alloys. Remember, an alloy is a mixture of 2 different types of metals together. We've got some composite materials, ceramics, and then I added this extra document on smart materials. We didn't really talk about smart materials too much, but basically they're materials that have interesting properties and are reactive to the environment. So things like color changing, glasses. That glass that changes color is reacting to the environment. So that would be a quote unquote smart material. So if you're interested, that's an option for you. So for your research, you must have at least 3 reputable sources cited in MLA format at the end of your presentation. So no Wikipedia. The LVA Library research page, I have it attached here, is an option to find resources. You can also use the slides presented in class. So if you go back to class, remember we have notes on all of these categories here. You can find a material or find information on materials to use. And then please use Noodle tools to cite your sources. If you've got another method of citing it and it looks like this, it's an MLA citation, that's good. I just don't want to see you guys just copying and pasting the links, okay? That's not an MLA citation. So the rubric, here's your points. It's going to be out of 100 points. You must have a title with the name of the material and its category. So, for example, I could say borosilicate glass, and the category would be glass. It must include at least one product in which the material is used. So you guys are designers. Where would you use this material? What are its applications? So we talked about PVC before. That could be used in plumbing. If you're presenting on something like cotton under a natural polymer, that would be something that is used for clothing. So tell us what it's used for. You must include, and this is the big thing here, physical, mechanical, and aesthetic properties of the material. I'm asking for at least one of each. So one physical, one mechanical, and one aesthetic properties. And I'm going to get to that at the end because I break that down for you here where I describe what those properties are. You must have at least 4 photos in your presentation. You want it to be visual, your designers. Um, must be professionally presented with no grammar or spelling errors. Must be neat and organized and aesthetically pleasing. So this must be 2 to 3 minutes in length and presented in a professional manner, including your behavior as an audience member. So I'm including that in professionalism. Must include a citation page, an MLA format, the end. And then I'm leaving this open for some bonuses here. So extra information could include the process of making the material, so how it's made. It could include the cost, special properties, applications, anything where you really go above and beyond and it still works in your presentation. So here's where I want to go back to the properties. Okay, so physical, mechanical, and aesthetic properties. So this is what I mean specifically. Aesthetic properties include things like color, texture, smell, and transparency, or opacity, like can you see through it or not. So those are some examples of aesthetic properties. Physical properties. So physical properties are things that the material has innate to itself. So it has a density, melting point, thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity, thermal expansion, and corrosion resistance. So those are properties that it has on its own. And then you have mechanical properties. Mechanical properties are when it's being tested by something else. So its strength, elasticity, like a rubber band, you can pull that apart. Plasticity, so how it stretches, but it won't return to its original shape. That's the difference between those two. Ductility was one of the words we talked about. Malleability, brittleness, stiffness, hardness, creep, fatigue, resistance, toughness, and weldability. Those are all examples of mechanical properties. So I'm just asking that you touch on one of each of these. So not every not every material, it's gonna make sense to like go through all of these. Okay, so like if you presented on cotton, for example, you might not talk about the electrical conductivity of it, although everything has some sort of rating, but it's just not its application. Okay, so try to find at least one of each of these, and if you're not sure, you can literally type in your material and type in one of these points here. So if you were presenting on titanium, you could put the density of titanium for a physical property and see what comes up in your search. Okay, so that is everything there out of 100 points. Make sure that you're using your time wisely today. This is one of your 3 research days, or 3 days to work on your presentation. And please make sure you comment on the post below so that I know what you're working on and that no one has a bunch of duplicates. Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys.